Good morning. How are you guys doing? All right. We got a few cities represented here. Because I'm going to shout mine out. So you might want to shout out. Who's here? Is St. Louis? Yeah, I heard about y'all. Columbus? Miami? Grand Rapids? Seattle? West Side? Okay, come on, calm down. We gotta always get this wrong. Is that the wrong way, the right way? All right, so I'm here to talk about balance. And so I'm gonna ask you guys to get your pens out. I will need a little participation from you. Is that all right? Okay, and I do have a few readers as well, but before I get to that, I'd love to hear what some of you guys, how you would define balance. So if I get a couple of runners, a couple people, what do you see, what does balance mean to you? We throw these words out here. What are your thoughts about them? There's somebody right here. Tell me your name too, so I can meet you.
Okay, I'm Latifah from Grand Rapids. All right. I wrote wholeness over busyness.
Wholeness over business, okay. Anybody else? Right back there, yes.
Elijah from Columbus.
Hey.
And I said balance is being able to do things in an effective manner without drying yourself out.
Okay, effective manner without dragging yourself out? Drying yourself out, okay.
Jason from Seattle, 206-253. You already know.
Okay.
Yeah. But I put balance is giving everything its proper attention.
Giving everything its proper attention. I like that. One more.
Mike Bienemy, Miami-Dade County, Broward County, West Palm County, all the counties, stand up.
Okay.
Balance is rhythm, healthy rhythms.
Healthy rhythms. Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, you guys are spot on. Balance is the idea that there's many parts of who we are and in our lives, and we're trying to hold all those things at the same time, right? Effectively, the best we can. I want to look at a scripture. I have a reader for Romans 12:2.
Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what is God's will, what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Okay. So clearly we need some help to be balanced. Yeah? Okay. I have another reader over here, Mark 6:30-31. Over here. She's right here. My reader's right here. I'm sorry, I pre-selected them. So if you jumped in now, like, I so appreciate you. I'm sorry, I should have been clearer. Yeah.
The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done and taught. Then, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, he said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest."
So they was doing what? What was they doing? To help me, serving, coming and going. I like that. They was coming and going. They were serving, busy, ministry. See, I tried to ministry. They was doing ministry. They was with Jesus. Come on, you guys. They was with Jesus. But what Jesus was trying to point out to them is that it's very important, and this is our definition. You can write in your workbook of balance is you have to care for yourself while you're caring for other people. He caught them. He held them accountable in that moment. Thank you, sister. Caring for yourself as a whole person, spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally, socially. I'm going to read that again because somebody might want to underline one of those where there's a deficit in your life. Caring for yourself as a whole person, spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. In Mark 6, he's teaching them the importance of caring for the whole person, right? Jesus is calling them out, and he's doing it also by modeling it. We have several examples of Jesus taking time to care, to pull away, right? To steal away, to take a moment. He wasn't always with everybody all the time. Balance stresses the importance of living in a way that pays attention to balance and set a set of priorities reflecting a commitment to wholeness versus, somebody said it early, busyness. Wholeness versus busyness. Now, I'm going to read this right here because this is what it kind of looks like. Look at me. I can hold up the cup and the milk and the cake. I can hold up the books and the fish on a rake. I can hold up the toy ship and a little toy man. And look, with my tail, I can hold a red fan. I can hold a fan as I hop on the ball, but that's not all. Oh no, that's not all. I can hold up the youth and buy the pizza too. I can drive the van and then tell you what I do. I can preach on Sunday morning and go from place to place and then spend time with my family and then still show my face at the next event. Oh, y'all don't want it. Y'all don't know nothing. Bars. But there's a problem with all of that busyness. There's a problem, even though you got a flow and a swag while you're doing it and people are applauding you, there's still a problem. And the problem is boiling dry. One of my brothers back there in his definition of balance talked about not drying out, right? And boiling dry is our failure to live a balanced life. I'm a tea girly. I like to have tea. In every time I can. Matcha, cold tea, ice brew tea, hot tea, and I like to do the sit and be cute half tea. And what it requires is some hot water. And I had to buy one of those fancy kettles because I was never good at timing just putting it in a pot and letting it boil. I ain't always been fancy and been able to buy a teapot, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just had to use the same pot that I boil my eggs to put. Anyway, and what happens when you let the water boil and you don't pay attention to it, you might come back to the kitchen smelling kind of funny. Or you might have your smoke, if you got a battery in it. You may have your smoke detector. Could we have a good time this morning? Okay. Your smoke detector might let you know that you have boiled dry. All the water, all the living water. Oh, okay. The boiling dry is a metaphor describing our tendency to become so focused on ministry activities and success. Somebody needs to underline and success. That other areas of life and key relationships deteriorate significantly, exhausting energy and resources by leading a hectic life, working so hard that you don't have any time to rest and rejuvenate. My goodness, I could tell you so many stories of how balance was not balanced in my life. They mentioned that before I went to Pasadena, I was serving in Inglewood. Y'all not ready? Seattle feels me. Seattle, West Coast, best coast. No, they're all good in God's sight. But there was a time in my life where I was working full time for the county in Alhambra. I'll give you some mapping distance. That's probably about the distance of two trips from here to the airport, double the distance. That's where I worked. Then I was serving part-time at a church in Carson, which is in the south part of LA, probably a good another 30 minutes, but in LA, everything's on traffic time. So, y'all know, good, all over the nation. People know a little something about us. All right. Then and I would go down there on my lunch break, believe it or not. Oh, yeah. And then I would come back to work in Alhambra, and then I would drive to the valley, which is more north, but still about another 45, 50 minutes, depending on traffic, because I was in seminary working on my master's of divinity, because, you know, I have to serve the Lord, and I wanted to be prepared in every way so that I could serve him with excellence. That's me, not you, just me. Taking classes, and then when I would finish classes, I had bought a house out in Lancaster, which is literally in a whole, oh, somebody knows a map. Yeah, in Lancaster, which is way north, but I had bought this house because I wanted to serve the Lord, and I wanted to have a place where people could get away and rest and reflect and pray and talk to God. While I was running around all day long, what do you think I did to eat? I ate while I was driving in the car. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Picking up something on the way to eat. Probably not a salad, because that's very difficult to eat while you're driving in traffic. Right? Getting to different places and spaces, and probably not being my best, but thinking I was doing a great job because I showed up. And didn't want anybody to say anything to me if I wasn't on time. That's not nobody's problem in here. That's not nobody's problem. Nobody in here is using the fact that they're in charge to change the schedule of meetings or when they arrive where they're supposed to be. You don't have that problem. You don't have that problem. You're not boiling dry. I'm just talking about me. This is a real problem that we have. Can you guys agree? So let's talk about some of the symptoms, because this goes back to the idea that we need to be self-aware. And so I want to give you some symptoms, and don't say ouch. Don't even say amen. I'm just going to go down them. Stress, depression, insufficient sleep or rest, spiritual dryness, loss of motivation for ministry. You don't know what I'm talking about? When you don't have no joy. Joy of the Lord is your strength. You don't really enjoy doing it anymore. You find yourself easily agitated, frustrated when something's out of place, something's not right. Why didn't they do that? You don't have any grace. Feelings of isolation. Nobody understands. I'm by myself. No one else cares. No one else can do it but me. Susceptibility to temptation. We've been talking about that. Thank you, Brother Ron. When you get into this place, it's a setup. It's a real setup for the things that tempt you. And you got a thing, I got a thing, all God's children got a thing. Overeating or skipping meals. Y'all don't know about that? You hungry again? Got the snackies? I always got the snackies when I got like a real difficult deadline that's upon me, right? I got the snackies. Y'all don't snack? Why y'all? That's just me? Oh, because some of y'all don't eat at all. You skip your meals and you think that is cute, and it's not. You know your body needs nutrition. Just saying. Irritability, we already talked about that. We like to call it frustration, but usually when you find yourself more frustrated than not, especially over small things, pay attention to the faces of the people that you serve and the people that you love when you find yourself popping off. Because they're going to let you know if you're popping off because you're frustrated and irritable, and maybe it's a you problem and the situation is really not that serious, but you just don't have enough. I'm going to come over here to you, Jake. Me and you, Jake. Look at the people you serve, the people you love, the people who you lead, and see how they are responding to how you're responding when you're popping off because something is out of place. Is it really that serious, or are you just irritable because you're tired, or you didn't eat the right meal, or you didn't get enough rest and you were late? Not you, Jake. You wasn't late. Disengage and lack of love, a lack of love for those you serve. They start getting on your nerves. Sister so-and-so, them kids, that one kid. You got that one kid. Y'all know y'all got that one kid, right? You be like, oh, he coming today, right? Oh, she got an attitude. She a teenager. You supposed to be in a place to be there to serve that young person. They're disengage, a lack of love with those you serve. How about this? Lack of desire to engage with loved ones. What about you have so much love for the young people, so much love for the organization, so much love for the community, but when you get home, you ain't got no love for I don't know, I'm not married, but I can talk about it. I seen it with my own eyes. Sometimes it's not your significant other. It could be your parents. I got Asian parents. Do they get on your nerves for no reason just because they called to say hello or need help with their cell phone? It's just me. Mama, scroll up, I gotta go. You coming by for dinner? No, I ain't coming by for dinner. I already ate it on the way to the next meeting, right? But you have a lack of desire to engage. You don't want nobody to cuddle you. You don't want your little nieces and nephews up under you. Bless your heart, your pet can't even get close to you. Sit over there. These are symptoms of boiling dry. Here we are again. This is what it looks like, right? All of these things I could do, but that's not all. Oh no, that's not all. That is that. The cat said, then he fell on his. So what's the solution? Is there a solution? There is. But I want to share a few things with you that I really feel like the Lord had me share with this particular group, because I think it's going to bless you. So can I do that? I needed permission. So thank you, Ron. I saw you nod your head. That's all I was looking for. So I talked to you guys about my previous context, being in Inglewood, driving around, doing all these different things. But my current context, unbeknownst to me, is Pasadena, California. And for those who do not know, Pasadena is part of the area where the Eaton Canyon fires were. So all that you heard about the wildfires in California are true. I literally come from serving at an organization that is in one of those impacted areas. So as you can imagine, what I was thinking as an executive director I was going to do going into 2025 quickly became something very different. In fact, the first week of January, I had a retreat plan for my staff because I believe in balance, Ron. And I wanted to start the year off right. I had brought in a speaker to help with some things around Strength Finders. I had even got us tickets to Disneyland. I know, because it's very difficult to, okay, that's a whole nother story. And I got us some tickets to Disneyland to just have a day of just fellowship and laughing and not getting on each other's nerve. And then we were going to do some planning, some work planning around our work. It was a whole week, about a four-day retreat. And so like I should do in December, I took a break. You know how you do after you, somebody, I know that, and I'm going to be real honest because I know sometimes the church calendar make you feel like you can't take a break, but you can. You got to schedule it. We'll get to that. Anyway, I did my scheduled break, and I had already pre-prepared for the retreat prior to my break. So, Ron, I did not spend my break planning the retreat. No, not at all. And I come back, and I'm concerned because there's going to be these strong winds, they tell us. So we canceled the first day of the retreat because of winds. They were just too strong, up to 90 miles per hour. Very strong, blowing stuff in people's pools. You know, it was a mess. And that is what made the fire spread so fast, just for context, okay? So you get a spark, you get some wind on it, and that thing is running, right? Wild. That's why they call it a wild. You guys are so smart. Okay, so the point is, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the retreat to get canceled. I didn't expect my associate director's home to burn down. I didn't expect half my board members' homes to burn down. I didn't expect families to lose their homes and be displaced. I did not expect people to get displaced just because of the smoke. I didn't expect to get evacuated. Now, I will tell you, I do have my home. I don't want you to worry in that way while I'm up here talking. But I was displaced from my home. Much of that whole area was. And it was a bad time. I can't paint it any other way but a bad time. But what I want to tell you is one of the things that saved me was that I live a balanced life. So the solutions that I'm going to share with you, I want you to take notes and I want you to take them in because you don't know what's coming. You live a balanced life because you don't know what's coming. Only God knows what's coming. That's why he called you here, so you can get in balance, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen to someone in your family. You can't control that. You can't control so many things, but you can control what's in front of you. And that's why this piece is so important, because I'm going to tell you, I would not have made it if I didn't live a balanced life. Let me give you some scripture. Y'all looking at me funny. I'm thinking about a story. Oh, I got you. You ever heard the account of the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish virgins? Y'all know what I'm talking about? And 5 of them didn't have any oil, and 5 of them did. And when the 5 foolish ones asked the 5 wise ones if they could have some of their oil, what did they tell them? They said, and so they did. But they started with no. Revisionists. Bible did. But they told them, go get your own. And there was a reason, because they were like, if we give you what we have, we'll have nothing, and we can't do what we need to do. And so balance always leaves some oil. Balance always leaves you a little oil for you, because you don't know what's coming. See, they didn't know when the bridegroom was coming. They didn't know. They had to wait. They had to take what they had, and it was theirs. They didn't give it up to somebody else. Didn't matter how nice they asked them. Didn't matter how many times they asked them. It didn't matter if they were friends and they asked them. We don't know if they could have been sisters. One sister could have been telling another. We have no account of that, Ron. It could have been one sister asking another sister. Could have been a family member. And they said, no, I can't give you my last. It's wisdom. So we have to have some honest introspection. And this particular screen struggles comes from COVID, which is another example of something that we didn't know was coming. Couldn't have planned for it. And here this young person is being honest with the fact that they just tapped out, took them out. That's not what I signed up for when I said I was going to school, Mom and Dad. And we have to be honest when we're tapped out. We have to be able to be self-aware. We have to be able to be honest. We have to be authentic. Come on now. Because all of us have a different tipping point. I'll give you that. But we all have a tipping point. And when we get to that tipping point, we have to be able to say that first to yourself. And then you can be accountable to somebody else, but that was somebody else's presentation. Listen, we are to practice cross-living. You guys have seen this and heard this, many of you guys. Our relationship with God as the believer is paramount. This is where we get instruction. This is where we should be listening. This is where we should be saying, where should I tap in? Where should I tap out? And it helps us to be everything that we're supposed to be in the vertical, right? So if you're so busy getting informed about what you're supposed to do from the vertical, you might be out of balance, because technically, ministry leaders, we're supposed to be getting our instruction and direction from the vertical, so that we can be all that our friends and family need us to be, all that our ministry needs us to be. And when we do, tell them no, because we will have to sometimes. We will have the confidence of knowing that we are doing what God called us to do, not what we came up with. Because everything that comes before you, every good thing that comes before you is not necessarily a God thing. And so I'm here to ask you, what do you have in place to discern what is the will of God and what is the thing that God wills you to say, not today? Because if you're concerned with the alignment of your self-image, or you think you're going to somehow get more special favor in the kingdom by doing more ministry, I'm here to tell you, dear brother and sister, it don't work like that. Okay, I just want to make sure you know, because... Okay, I need somebody to explain this picture to me, please. Let me get a mic runner. Somebody would like to take a stab at explaining this. Everybody's like, we don't know what you're going to say. Come on, try. Yeah.
All right. Marquis from Miami.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? So you have like the big rocks and like the pebbles, and so each of the like small little, or each of like the rocks represent like your priorities. And so the idea is, I mean, what we see in the picture currently is all the small stuff is like stacking up the jar. So like the big stuff, they don't have any room. So I don't know if you're gonna get to it in the next slide. I don't want to like move too fast.
Oh,
if you
well,
are.
it's okay. I can flow with however you do it.
Okay, cool. So ideally, you would want the big stuff first, and it would look like the jar's completely full, that nothing is left to be able to put in it. There you go. But
Yeah.
then you would have room for like the small stuff, right? So the idea is like prioritize, you know, like the most important things, right?
Yeah.
And so that way you can leave room for the other stuff. So where it's not like you have like an imbalanced life, right? But even if it seems like it's a lot, but making sure that like what's important, that's going to leave you room for the other things that you're able to do, even if it's big. But that way you're trying to at least make sure that you have room for the things that you can and still be balanced and still have the capability to actually have time to do those things.
Okay, awesome. And they even let you hold the mic. That's amazing. So you're right, and I know you guys, we saw this already. Okay, then I got another question for you. What's the small stuff? I want you to start defining the small stuff. Yeah. What is the small stuff? Talk to me. But we're still using that word stuff. Let's define that small stuff and not use the word stuff. Yes. Telephone call, yes. So it's the TV show. Is that what you okay. I'm not mad at the housewives. The show I love it here. Yes, right. Yes.
Yes, pick me up, I need a ride.
Yes, I pick me up, I need a ride. The unexpected, yes. Let's keep going.
Like people pleasing.
People pleasing. So your own disposition towards the things that are coming at you, yes.
Emails.
Emails, oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed when the little red thing says how many emails I have unread. Don't look at my phone, don't judge me. Right here in the back. Y'all could call them, yes, right here. No gas money. So the trials of life, right? The challenges, you didn't expect that, an unexpected expense that come up. Yes, go ahead, right behind them.
Borrowing money.
What?
Borrowing money, family borrowing money.
Your family borrows, so somebody pulling on you financially, needing something. You had a budget, now they in your budget. Yeah, okay.
My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, Milton said social media, but he already said one, so he wanted me to say it.
Social media. Yeah, well, let's stop on that. I'm going to come to you back there, but let's just talk about social media because social media is all kinds of social media, right? We're so overwhelmed. People used to be, get off that darn Facebook. Then it was like, get off that darn Instagram. Okay, the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikTok. Now it's the Red Note and the Snapchat and the Reddit and the Twitter and like if you could just stay in social media land and be in the small stuff. Yes, right back here. Let's take one more.
I was just going to say car and house maintenance, the small things around the house you got to take care of.
Say that again.
Car and house maintenance.
Yes. Let's talk about maintenance. We could just go down the list of maintenance. If you got a house, you got to maintain the house. If you got a car, you got to maintain the car, right? If you have, listen, you got to maintain you. Doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, come on, therapist. Oh, I'm going to yeah, right? These are things, right? Now the reason I didn't get into the family stuff is because in this model, usually the family is the big rock, right? Right? So I didn't get into all the things that family can bring up, right? But there is the unexpected thing the family can put on your calendar. You know what I'm saying? So-and-so graduating, cousin graduating next week. We expect you to be there. You wanted to tell me? You wanted to tell me now? You just not telling me? Day before. And then you going to call me on Saturday and say, can you bring a meal? How dare you? How dare you do that to me? And let me say something about do that to me. Just because I'm single don't mean I got time for your emergency. Oh, thank you. You guys are here, you're here. And I say that even to us as leaders, be very mindful about how you treat the single people in your ministry or at your organization. Don't give all the deference to people because they have family and children. Single people have things we need to do too. And besides, how are we supposed to not be single if we always back at the church? How, Lord, oh Lord, am I supposed to be, if I'm supposed to be, right, the auntie who's always babysitting, the auntie who's always going and picking somebody up because everybody else can't do it, right? The person who can make the store run, right? The person who can open up the church and lock up the church, go pick up the extra stuff. Why are we not dispersing those tasks equally amongst the beloved? Something to think about. I read your bios. I know who you are, world changers. You are influencers and leaders and decision makers. And you set the tone. Let me tell you something else that I learned about this. One of my mentors told me, and I started to get really overwhelmed, Stephanie, in my new role. I speaking to her because when you like an executive leadership position, it's different. It hit different, y'all. It be different. It'd be a lot. Every email is emergency. Everything cannot be an emergency. And I remember feeling very overwhelmed. But because I wanted to go, I'm CS disc style. Thank you. The rest of you are like, we're D's and I's. We don't care. We run the world. No, you don't. And so I can get overwhelmed around being around people a lot too. I'm really more of an introvert with extrovert tendencies, right? And so I really, it's a lot of peopling in being, an executive director. And I found myself, it was a special event, an important event at Pasadena City Hall, and I get invited to all these different things, and I'm supposed to represent the organization, and I just couldn't. I parked my car, I walked in, and Ron, I walked in that chamber. I sat down for maybe 3 minutes. I knew they didn't know who I was and probably didn't care. Who's a short little black girl that just came in the back, right? And I just walked back out because I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't have the bandwidth to do this, right? And I honored myself, and I walked out. But when I met later with my mentor, I told her how bad I felt because I was like, man, I need to, represent the organization. I need to be in certain places. I need to be telling the story. I need to be telling the elevator pitch. Who knows who was in there? I need to raise the money. I got to make the payroll. Some of y'all, I read your bios. Stop looking at me like that. It's a weight. It's a burden. And so I was explaining to her my challenge with myself about it. And she looked at me so sweet. And she's a deputy director for the mayor of Los Angeles. She also my cousin, though. She my cousin, though. That's why she my mentor. And she says to me, she said, you set the pace. She said, you set the pace. I said, but they need the contract signed. They need you set the pace. I just want you to remember in this beloved life that God has given you, He's given you free will, and you set the pace. You've got to take time to set the pace. Here's some key points I want to focus in on. 1, achieving balance is a lifelong process. It's a journey, not a destination. I was in DVULI in 2019, and this balance thing struck me so hard. I mean, man, spiritually, physically, intellectually. I mean, am I balanced? And it's a question I come back to all the time. Now let's go down to things spiritually. Am I reading the Word? Am I in the Word? Am I in the fellowship? Am I doing those things? Sometimes we hit real strong on that because some of y'all, your job is at the church, so you feel like check. But is it? Because I worked for church for about 14 years, and I do know you can be boiling dry and be in church every morning, and nobody will know it. If you've been doing it long enough, you've been churching long enough. Y'all don't want this. Y'all been churching long enough. You've been churching long enough, and you know how to show up, and nobody knows that you're boiling dry. And you're not even being honest with yourself, more or less anybody else, because you don't want anybody to know the pastor don't want to be. You ever want to tell the kids, you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here neither. That's why you be mad and frustrated. Y'all not listening. I worked hard on this sermon. You gonna get this today. Oh my goodness. It's a process. It's a process. And you got to check in spiritually, physically. Listen, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I am physically, size-wise when I did this program. That goes back to what was said yesterday. I got one vessel through which God to use me. And I gotta make sure that I'm staying hydrated, I'm getting my sleep, right? I gotta make sure I'm eating right, I gotta make sure I'm moving. You know, in different stages of your life, you should be focusing on different things. Some of y'all need to be focusing on flexibility. Some of you need to be building your muscle, right? Some of you need to be making sure you use your heart. You eat right, you're thin, you're skinny, or you got a few muscles. That don't mean you're healthy. You need to go to the doctor. You need to get your blood work done, right? So, but this is part of being balanced physically, right? And it don't hurt to stop and get your hair and your nails done too, cause the whole person, everything, right? Intellectually, you know, when's the last time you really read a book? Like seriously, in this program, they're gonna recommend so many good resources to you. You're gonna get resources. They're gonna bless you with resources, digital and in your hand. But are they gonna collect dust? Are you reading them? Are you looking at something that's building your mind, giving you other things to process in the lens through which God can speak to you? It's in this thing. It's not me. It's a process. It's a process. It's a journey. It's not a destination. You will find yourself coming back to this over and over again. Okay, so whatever you're setting up, make sure that you're doing it in a way that you can. Applying all the core values help us experience balance in our lives. As you receive more insight on these core values, you're going to see how they're still going to tie back to being balanced. You're going to be like, oh, I want to go do that. But you're going to have to tell yourself, am I being balanced in it? Right? You're going to, oh, yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to apply that. You're going to take lots of notes. I'm telling you, you're going to do it. I'm telling you, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I did it. But you're going to also have to see, if I start doing all of this, what needs to be balanced over here for me to be able to take that on. For me to be able to go to all these meetings and be around people, that means there's some things I have to say no to. That's right there too. Learning to say no to good things is necessary. I'm gonna stay on that one. Let's go. Tension related to balance is always present in our lives. Listen, somebody not gonna like your no. Somebody that people pleasing, man. Somebody not gonna like your no. And you don't have to be mean. You have no thank you. Right? I'm not talking about you. No. Some of y'all in the beginning, that's how you're gonna have to do, because you've been people pleasing so long. You're gonna have to just draw a line in the sand and be like, no. And everybody going, you're tripping. What's going on with you? Because they're not gonna hear your no thank you, or they're gonna be able to talk you back into things that God has told you to step away from. Right? But I want you to practice. In fact, you know what? Turn to your neighbor, just say no. Turn to the other neighbor and say no. All right. No. No. It's all kind of no's. No. Hey, you guys are saying more than no. Caw-caw. Bring it back. This is the most I heard y'all voices. Kidding. Donnie, this is therapeutic for some people right now. That's the first time I said that in 2025. But you know the person next to you is not your ministry. It's not your family. It's practice. But listen, there's going to be tension. There's going to be tension when you seek to establish balance in your life. It's going to be tension. It's going to be tension with others. It's going to be tension within yourself. Sometimes I have to tell myself, no, I'm not going to put that on social media. Because the time that it takes for me to put together a really cute reel, I could be doing something else. And everybody don't need to know everything I'm doing. Lest you give them the impression your life is out of balance. What are you modeling to your team? How are you showing up? Is everybody else frazzled and running and frustrated because you're a leader who's frazzled and running and frustrated? Do you make time and carve out time for your team to just sit? You know, post fires, we are dealing with secondary trauma. Whether people lost their homes or not, I gotta think, what am I doing to help my team? What am I implementing to help my team get a rhythm of rest? Right? They see me go, she going somewhere again. She think, no, I gotta get away from y'all. I do better work when you're not in my office talking to me. I can work, listen, but I know that about myself. I know that about myself. But I also know my team. And I know that each of them need different things to rest. I got D's, I got I's, they need encouragement to be able to rest. They need permission. Who are you giving permission to be balanced? Start with yourself, model it, and then seek to give somebody else permission to do it. You working with these young people, what they watching you do? You mentoring constantly. When you show up, you're mentoring. You ain't got to say a word. They see how you treat your spouse. They see the time you spend with your kids. They see if you spend any other time with the rest of your family. They know, and they're picking it up. And then you're going to look one day, and you're going to be like, there they go. Oh, wait, I didn't mean to teach them that. So teach them how to say no. You ever had a young person tell you no? Give them permission. It's finals week. We're not going to have Bible study this week, or we're going to have it virtually. Some of y'all, I know you can't do that. I'm sorry. I understand. But, give them permission to balance them. Some of these kids are so overprogrammed. And then everything that's going on in the world today, you think that they're not holding on to that? You think that they're not feeling it? We have the opportunity to be a part of the village to give them space, safe space. But it's not safe if we're making it toxic. Making them feel bad because they're not showing up to everything that you have. I'm just gonna go back to my notes. Establishing healthy boundaries between personal life and ministry is essential. Are you got a hand up? I'm sorry, I thought you were saying hallelujah. I'll take. You can. Yeah. We're going to have some time where we're going to get more into that, and I'm going to give you some practical tips. So if you hold on to some of the things you guys are probably, we hear you, but how am I supposed to do that? We're not going to leave you hanging. This is what you love about DVULI. They're not going to leave you hanging. So we will address that in some ways, okay? And then we can also talk offline. But that boundary between your personal life and ministry life is so important. It is so important because people will do what you let them do. People will do what you let them do. Y'all heard this. That's somebody else's quote. That's not my quote. But they will. And when you've established a pattern with them, then they will assume that's the pattern. Right? So some of us need to go back and establish some new patterns. You might even have to say, hey, I went to this conference. I've been thinking, I've been praying. Now, God has to tell you how to have the conversations, but you need to have the hard conversations. I'm going to start using a calendar now. And if you want me to be somewhere, I need at least whatever your boundary is before I'll be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to turn on a dime for you like I used to. And it's not because I don't care. It's because I need to draw some boundaries. Because I promised my family I was going to take them to Disneyland. Y'all not going to get the theme from me. I wanted to give you some other practical. You guys like, what's her thing with Disneyland? Well, one, I live in California, okay? So let me give you some other practical things for your personal. Because some of us, I'm going to say us, when we do have downtime and personal time, then we freak out. Because we haven't prepared to have downtime. So what I want to do is I want to encourage you to already have a plan in place for when you have time for you. You should already know where you're going and what you're going to do. You should just be waiting. I know what I'm going to do on my day off. Otherwise, when you have that day off or you carve at that time or you have your Sabbath, you will find that you didn't do anything. The kids call it bed rot, where you just lay in the bed and you don't do anything. And that's okay too sometimes. But you also should have things that are filling you, refueling you, helping you balance, right? And so what is that for you? For me, that's Disneyland. I have a Disneyland pass. I pay for it, not the most expensive one. I'm not that person. And I go. And there's something about when I get there, it just shifts everything. Now, I know that's very particular to California, but there are places and spaces that I'm going to suggest some others that you could do the same. Now, the other reason I like to go to Disneyland because I get my steps in. You see what I did there? It's so easy to get 15, 20,000 steps in at Disneyland just walking around looking at people. And you know what? If I eat a churro, it doesn't matter because I burned it off. Y'all not listening. But more recently, because Disneyland is in Orange County and I'm in Eaton Canyon, there's something called Descanso Gardens, which is a botanical garden, which I have a membership now. I paid $100 for a year membership, but I can go to the gardens whenever I want. I can walk steps. I can journal, spiritual. I can just sit and be, listening to God. But it's a place that I already know it's already taken out of the budget. I don't have to worry about borrowing no money from nobody to go, right? And it's there. But there are places like that in your city. There are places that refresh you, whether it's by the water or on a hike or a particular park or a library. You know those places still exist. Some of us like to go to spas. Some of us are close to a beach, right? But you ought to have a place and a space, and that you know when you have that time for balance, you're like, I can't wait to go get to my space. Well, this is my place. This is my spot. This is where I go. This is what I do. And you set those healthy boundaries. And then you do the same thing with your dating life. You do the same thing, with your married dating life. You set that thing up. But you guys have date nights, right? Wow. You guys have date nights, right? You pre-plan, right? You set that aside. You let people know that is sacred time. You can do that for yourself. You can do that with your kids. I'm a great auntie. I got about 14 nieces and nephews. I am the auntie, right? But I don't let all of my extra time go to just my family. Even coming here, what I was going to share with you guys is, and this is something for you. I have a family trip. My family is, God bless Emily. Everybody's going to Kanab, Utah. I have a very diverse family. This is the hiking, rock climbing side of the family. You know what I'm saying? And, but it's a good time. We river raft. I look forward to it. It's great. But you know what? I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. And there's a lot going on back at home. And so I decided not to go. And what I want to say to you is don't be afraid of the edit. Don't be afraid of the edit. Sometimes you need to edit. Gideon, army, he thought he had to have all those soldiers to go get it done. And God told him to cut it down. And then he thought that was enough, and God told him to cut it down again. Sometimes that's what you got to do with your schedule. You got to just edit something. That's not happening today. We're not doing it. No all-staff meeting. Some of y'all have too many meetings anyway. You don't have no time to do work. Maybe when you're talking to your supervisor, that's a suggestion that you make. You want me to be here. If you want me to be here, I want to be there, but I also want to get this done. And I can't seem to resolve how I can get both done. Do you have a suggestion how both of those things can be done? And let that leader realize, oh, wait a minute, I may be putting too much. Maybe you as the leader are putting too much. Do you need to meet? I got somebody right now on my staff that meets with their staff on Monday and Friday. Why? That's a vote of no confidence to me. But this is a pattern they've had for years. Why are you meeting on Monday and then meeting back again on Friday? When did they have a chance to get any work done? So I want to encourage you to not be afraid of the edit. And some of y'all right now need to be thinking about some stuff you need to edit out. Some of the stuff you're doing is just, you gotta go, it's like decluttering your house. You gotta declutter your schedule, declutter your life. Why are you trying to do everything right now anyway? And so, I think about that. People be like, you going to get a doctorate? I'm like, do you know what's on my plate right now? That's suicide. Why would I do that to myself? That's a stress factor right now in my life. Now maybe when I'm in this role for a while and I got a good handle on it, if that ever happens or God moves me to a role that's just not so stressful, I may consider pursuing that. But just because somebody keeps saying it to me don't mean it's something that I need to try to add into my life. Why? For the resume? You got to really be honest with yourself and think, why am I doing some of this stuff? So other people will think I'm somebody. Newsflash, can you lean in? You already somebody. You're already the beloved. You're already saved by grace. You're already all of those things. Don't be afraid to edit. Let me give you a couple more things, and then I'm going to go to these questions. Yes. For some of you guys, it's going to be figuring out what you need to edit. Some of you guys, it's going to be what you need to delegate. Yes, other people besides you can get it done. Some of you need to figure out what you need to delegate. Some of you guys think, no, nobody else can do it but you. Newsflash, they can. They may not do it like you, but they can get it done. Some of you need to realize what you need to delegate. And then some of y'all need to figure out what you need to automate. Some of you guys are still doing certain things, and there's technology to help with that, like scheduling your calendar, right? I'm just telling you because some people ain't giving other people the secret sauce. I'm going to give you the secret sauce. Get yourself a calendar app. Why you got to call personally for every meeting? Now, I understand there's some meetings that you might need to have the touch point, but some meetings you can send and be like, this is my link. Find a time that works for you. It sets it all up. Do some research and find out what things you can automate, okay? Because there's some automation that can help you take some, because you're like, where am I going to get this time from? I know what's going on in your head right now. Some things you need to edit, some things you need to delegate, some things you need to automate. Okay? All right. Let's go on. And remember this. We need sleep. God does. Come on, talk with me. We need a Sabbath rest. God does. We need friends. God does. We need food. God does. We need inward renewal. God does. He don't need all of that. He don't take all of that.